You've entered the Houston Running Zone, the ultimate podcast for runners in the Houston area, featuring the everyday runners who inspire us, clubs, gear, races, and runcations. Houston, we've got the runs.
All right, today in the zone, we have an RRCA running coach, Brooks Ambassador, NASM performance coach, but more importantly, he is the founder of ZFT Run Club and also a Chevron Houston Marathon ambassador is Yancey. Yancey, what's going on?
Man, what's going on? How are you?
Man, terrific. I've been looking forward to this. I know we've been playing a tag for the last couple months here, but we got it narrowed down. And first of all, let's just talk about Chevron Houston Marathon. Congrats again on the ambassadorship. My big question is, you guys give so much to the running community. What made you decide to do one more thing to become an ambassador?
It's like I said, making that stake, making that claim as far as, what I'm trying to do as an individual when it comes to running and Black people in the community, but also what I'm trying to do as far as with ZFT and achieving the mission that we have with that run club. And it's, mainly to diversify running. And I figured what better stage would that be achieved as, a marathon, or the Houston Marathon, which is actually one of my favorite marathons. So, just being able to learn the ins and outs of how that marathon is ran, to get to know the people that put that marathon on, and also have some type of representation when it comes to, like I said, Black runners and ZFT. That's what made me want to do it.
Man, that's awesome. Because I remember, I guess after the shutdown and everything in 2022, we run the aid station for the half marathon. And then when the half marathons is over, we move over to the full marathon side. So the last aid station, and the amount of ZFT, everyone had their swag on, everyone's having fun. And I mean, you guys just exploded at the beginning of 2022, or that's when I first saw it. Is that, when did you guys start? Like before COVID or after COVID?
Yeah, so we actually started before COVID. So we were founded June 17th in 2017. Okay. So, those first few years, and I won't even put this on my members, I'll put it on myself as well. We were all new to running. So, the thought of running a half marathon, a full marathon, that was non-existent. Just the thought of that. I want to say that maybe the first 2 years, I don't think we ran any races at all. It was just really just getting people together in the community, just, meeting up every Saturday and getting people just acclimated to the thought of distance running. Because, like I said, including myself and people I knew and even athletes that I, played with and mixed and mingled with. We would play basketball, we could play football all day, but when it came to running, that was not something that we did. So those first 2 years is just getting, myself and people that I knew just acclimated to the thought of running more than a mile. So I want to say around COVID is when we really started to catch our groove. And I would say that was because when most run clubs were, shutting down and, taking breaks, we kind of pushed through it. We kept going, and then we provided sort of a haven for those people that were still looking to run with run clubs, or those people that didn't have anything to do now, that they couldn't go to work, that they couldn't hang out at the bars, or they couldn't hang out, in certain places. And being outside was one of the safest places that you could be. So, with our energy and, we try to make it fun, we try to make it social. I think that was one of the things that kind of drew a lot of people toward us. And like I said, we never really just took a hard break during COVID. So I think that brought a lot of people our way. So I want to say 2020 going into like 2021, 2022 is when, like you said, we really started to break out on the scene. We actually started participating in bigger races as far as half marathons and marathons around that time. So yeah, that makes sense that that's when we caught your eye.
That's awesome. So obviously you were already fit and you kind of have, your NASM and everything. What made you say, okay, let's do running? Because normally running in the fitness world is a punishment. Oh, you did something wrong. Okay, go run some laps.
Exactly.
So where did that come from?
For me personally, that came from, it was sort of a challenge that I put on myself because, growing up, I played sports in high school. I played football and basketball, and then I went to college to play football. So, everybody has that dream to make it to the professional ranks, the NFL, NBA. Somewhere in college, you realize that's not going to be your path. So, luckily, I was in school and I got my degree in exercise science. So that still kept me in the sports world, the fitness world. So, I stayed fit. Just, I think it was because I had that degree and I was still working in gyms and, places like that. So it kept me fit. But as an adult, and especially when you come from a background of playing sports and you got games and you get to perform and stuff like that, you kind of miss that, right? Because when you're adult, you go to work, you go home. It's sort of like this routine thing when it comes to just your lifestyle and even with the fitness. So I needed something to challenge myself, to give me that challenge that I got when I played football or when I played basketball. So the challenge that I came up with is pretty much running. And I came to that conclusion because I asked myself, what is it that you're not good at? You're good at, you can pretty much, like I said, I was fit, I'm athletic. Anything that you challenge me with sports wise, I could pretty much figure it out, right? But running was that one thing that I avoided, the one thing that I just dreaded, mainly because of what you stated. It was viewed as punishment. It was viewed as if you did something wrong, this is when you ran. It was nothing that we did for leisure, that we did for fun, or not even, just the mental side of running. It was either just conditioning to get ready for your sport, or it was punishment for doing something wrong. So I had challenged myself to change that mindset. And at that time, running a mile was, in my mind, that was distance running. If I could run a mile, I felt good. As long as I can run a mile and I can run it at a decent pace, that's good. But around that time, like I said, when I started challenging myself to change my mindset when it came to running, that's when I started pushing past that mile. And then, you start slow like everybody else. I think I might have did a mile and a quarter. And then you're running, you're like, oh, that wasn't that bad. So let's try a mile and a half next time. So, I tried that, kept going, kept building it up and realized I could actually do it. And then I just kind of stuck with it. And then I was introduced to run clubs. And I think that's what changed my whole perspective when it came to running.
Okay. What about the run clubs change your perspective? Is it the different paces and looks and fits of everybody, or is it just say, oh, this actually could be fun, or they're looking forward to like a race? Like, what was the magic?
It was one, I didn't know run clubs existed when I first, I didn't even know people got together to run. I didn't know that was a thing. Just because I never looked. It's not that it wasn't there. I just never looked for it. You really don't notice what you don't look for. So once I figured out that was there, and it was like, oh, these are people that can aid me on my journey, similar to, a team sport, playing football, playing basketball. You relied on your teammates. Your teammates pushed you. Your teammates motivated you. And I sort of got that same feeling when, you joined the run club. And especially, when you're looking to run your first 5K, you have people there that can help you. The training aspect of it. On race day, you have those people there cheering for you. So I think it helped me tap into that team dynamic, that camaraderie that you got from your teammates and being a part of the team. And I think that's what kind of brought it home for me.
Okay. Yeah. And most of us were a part of, several run clubs. It kind of depends on, what you plan on doing, days of the week, schedules and so forth. What made you decide I'm going to start my own?
So that's a funny story. I never thought that I would be the leader of a run club. One, like I said, I never thought that I would be running. And then to progress further in time to actually be leading a run club. What changed that was, it was two things. It was when I first got into running, I was living in Atlanta at the time. So I joined a run club there called Movers and Pacers. And they, like I said, provided that what I needed in order to get into running. I think I might have ran with them for 3 or 4 months, but it was kind of inconsistent. I wouldn't say I went every week, but it was something I did look forward to when I had the time or when I chose to go. And I had a good time, really enjoyed it. So when I moved back to Houston, like I said, 3 to 4 months later, I moved back to Houston. And I was like, I want to continue my running journey. I'm going to find a run club just like Movers and Pacers here in Houston, right? So I went on my search, looking high and low, searching the internet, searching social media, all the different outlets to find something that was similar to that run club, and I couldn't find it. And if I did find anything, it was out in Cypress, or it was in Sugarland, or it was in the Woodlands. And I'm a city guy, I live in the Loop, so everything that I did was centered, in the Houston area, really in that 610 area. So I was looking for it, and I remember it was a guy that I worked with. I was telling him about the idea, what I was looking for, and I was having trouble, just finding this run club that was similar to this run club that I was a part of in Atlanta. And then he said, have you ever thought that maybe this is your calling or your challenge to start a run club? He was like, I know you're looking for it. I know you have, your particulars or, whatever you're looking for, but maybe this is, a calling for you to start a run club. So I listened and I took it in, and I think I sat on it for maybe about a month. And then this was probably in April when he, pushed that on me. So like I said, in the end of April, that May, this is in 2017. That May, I sat on it, really just trying to figure out like what that entails. I'm not a runner. Are these people going to listen to me? Like, just, the things that you go through when you're trying to start something new, trying to start something that could potentially be big. You just think about all the things that could go wrong. And then, by the end of May, I was just like, hey, I'm just going to do, I have a fitness background. I know how to do this stuff on the, the training aspect side of things, or the fitness side of things, or the knowledge side of things. So it's just you making the decision to do it. So I told myself, all right, what's the closest, relevant date that is, where we are now? Like I said, we're in May, and Juneteenth was a big thing, that was being celebrated here in Houston. So I said, Juneteenth, that's going to be the weekend. And then, I just started looking, scouting out locations, found something that worked. And then it was just, let's just try it. And I started with just my friends, just people I knew, living in Houston, people that I was close with. I just told them, hey, I'm going to start this run club. Y'all just come out. You can walk, you can jog. We're just going to get out on Saturdays, and we're going to do, some physical fitness. It's free, so you don't have to worry about paying anything. Let's just do it. And, it's one of those things that started out real small, and now we are where we are now. But like I said, it's not something I thought that I would be doing, and it's not something that I thought would be as big as it is now. So just riding that wave, sticking through it, and evolving and progressing with the times. I think that's what allowed us to get to where we are now.
Yeah, well, I found y'all on Instagram because as you start following other things, they're like, "Oh, you like running, you like fun stuff," and that's where you showed up.
Yeah,
I mean, was it just because word of mouth, and then posting on Instagram, people are like, okay, it's not a bunch of guys that are super fast. It's all paces and sizes and things like that. Is that what was the magic? Because you guys just exploded.
The magic is, I tell people, if I had to sum it up, I feel like we do a really good job with creating FOMO. FOMO is our biggest tool, in the sense of we're creating something that looks fun, something that people are getting results from, something that, in a sense, it shows that people are doing something that we don't normally see our people doing, as far as Black people. Running isn't a thing that I grew up doing, or my parents grew up doing, or, even I have friends that did running. I didn't have anybody close to me that did that. And a lot of the people that I would talk to was the same story with them. With us, it was you played a sport, mainly football or basketball, running, unless you were really fast, you ran track. If not, you stayed away from the track. And then distance running was the thought of that was just insane. So it was showing people that, yes, this is something that we don't normally do or something that we're not accustomed to doing, but it can be fun. Like it really can be fun. And we're going to show you how to make it fun. And you don't have to be fast to be, accepted in this community. You don't have to look athletic. You don't have to be slim. You don't have to be tall. You don't have, those things that we associate with running. We kind of just, kick those things over and opened up that door for everybody to feel welcome when they came out to run or walk with us. And I think that was something that made people more comfortable. And then on top of that, they see us not only running, but they see us like having fun. Like this is a community that I can hang out with, that I can be social with and network with and all these different things, especially for people that were, moving to Houston or people that had recently moved to Houston. They were looking for that community. And it allowed you to pretty much check off all the boxes that you would be looking for when it comes to a community that I'm looking for in a new city. What do they offer? What do they do? So we can help you get fit. We can help you network. We can help you, find places to eat. We can help you find places to hang out. And, I think that was the thing, is just kind of making sure we highlighted those different things, with our social media, or if people talked about ZFT Run Club. Tell them we do more than just running. Tell them how we hang out, and tell them how, we have all these different types of professions. And if you're looking to get into a certain field, it's most likely somebody that can, point you in the right direction here in Houston. So I think it was just, like I said, helping people understand it was more than just running. Yes, we're going to run. And yes, that's the base of what we do with ZFT. But at the end of the day, it's much bigger than running, and just showcasing that when we talked about it and when we, put it on social media.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. I think people don't realize how important relationships, community, networking, all that, like that opens up the doors, let alone get you out of the house.
Yep.
Which is so cool. Oh, wow. So what's your day job then?
Oh, so I work in fitness. So I just say a fitness professional. I work in corporate health and wellness. So basically what that is I work for a company that manages fitness centers for, big companies. So like a Shell, or where I'm at currently is Halliburton. So these companies, these oil and gas companies, not even just oil and gas companies, a lot of different companies have fitness centers that are exclusive for their employees and contractors and interns or whatever they have. So these companies have, really, really nice fitness centers in their buildings or on their campuses. And the company I work for manages those fitness centers as a third party. So I do that. And then I also do personal training. So I have a personal training business. So I train a lot of the people that are part of ZFT. They also do the strength training aspect of it with me. Like I said, personal training wise. And then I also have that 9 to 5 where I work in corporate health and wellness.
Oh, that's cool. So they can do other things. And I mean, imagine you just can teach them so many cool things that I think
exactly.
Sometimes there's this divide, whether it's a gym or CrossFit or personal training, and then there's runners. Like there's barely any crossover. It's starting, but it used to be division.
Yep. And that's something that we preach is you have to strength train. You have to focus on your recovery as well, because in order to, make it through these training seasons, it's a lot that you put on your body. And if you're not strong, if you're not flexible, if you're not mobile, and those different things, it can break you down and lead to injury. So even though we are a run club, we also, preach the other aspects of fitness as well, because it's a holistic thing, right? We want you to be, like I said, strong. We want you to be flexible. So that way, when you put that stress on your body from running, it doesn't beat you down as bad. So like I said, if you talk to any of my runners, anybody in ZFT, they will tell you that strength training is something that we preach, because it is needed. And at the end of the day, it helps you look better as well, So I feel like it's a 2-for-1. You can look better, you can feel better, and it makes you more prepared for the runs.
Yeah, and just for injury prevention, like
Mm-hmm.
having muscles that have some sort of twitch and not just
Exactly.
singular lateral motion type of thing. That's cool.
You are in the Houston running zone. We've got the runs.
And I've kind of noticed that even though you're centered in the loop, like I live in Clear Lake, so we help put on the aid stations for Run Houston Clear Lake.
Yeah.
And we saw, obviously all the run clubs, including ZFT, that are coming out, 30 minutes from downtown to run a race. Like it just becomes this addiction to running.
Yeah. Yeah, and then also we like to offer different landscapes. It can get kind of, boring and monotonous to, run the same trails and the same parts of the city, every week and every month. So we try to, get our people outside of the loop and, participate in races. In the Run Houston race series, that's something we participate in every year. We like to have that thing that people can look forward to completing each year. And a lot of people, they take pride in being able to say they ran all 5 of the races. So, that's a series that we have on our race calendar every year. And then we also travel for races as well. So we've been everywhere from San Diego to Chicago to Memphis. So we travel every year, at least once or twice every year to run different races. And like I said, just meet different, run clubs and different people, and also to run just different, landscapes and scenery. So yeah, getting our people outside of the loop and outside of Houston is definitely a big focus that we have.
Yeah. Runcations. Okay. Now we're talking. So what,
Yeah.
what was like one of your favorites or one that just stands out and goes, okay, this was unique because of a situation that happened or the landscape, or like, what was one that just stood out?
This happened. This is one that happened recently. This was last year. We went to Chicago to run the Chicago Half Marathon, and we had a really good time. We also linked up with, I'm gonna shout out Peace Runners. It's a run club up in Chicago. So we linked up with them. They were really, amazing hosts. They set up, different events. I think some of us got there Thursday night, so they had different events from Thursday all the way to Sunday to accommodate us, to show us the city. So it was really good because we got to, like I said, meet a new run club. We got to mix and mingle with the people. And then we also got to explore the city. And we had like a personal tour guide with that run club that kind of took us to different parts of the city, different, restaurants and stuff like that. So that was one that I can say stood out a lot just because of, the race was nice, but it was more than just that race as well. Like I said, we got to, really feel like we were at home when we connected with that run club, and they really did a great job of hosting us that weekend.
And on the other side of things, I know Chevron Houston Marathon does, shakeout runs and things like that. Even if you're not running the race, I encourage people to go to those to make people feel welcome to Houston,
Exactly.
Versus, okay, they just happen to be chasing Des or somebody like that. It's like, no, it's designed for everybody to come up.
Exactly. So yeah, that was one I could say that stuck out. I mean, we've had fun on every runcation that we've gone to. They all had, their things that I can look back on and be like, man, we had a really good time. But, the Chicago one was one of the most recent ones. And then, like I said, being able to connect with Peace Runners was amazing.
So what are you looking forward to this year for your ambassadorship leading up to the marathon in 2025? Are you doing the full or the half?
I'm doing the half. Yeah, I'm doing the half is my favorite race. So the full, I like the full too. I've done the full. It's a good time. But that half marathon, I love it. And I love it because it's flat. It's flat. The entire race is flat. And then, yeah, I like the half. I like the half. The full is flat too. I mean, you just got that one big hill right there at West Park. But outside of that, it's pretty flat too. Or an Allen Parkway, the dreaded Allen Parkway. You got
the
those
dips.
Yeah. So, but outside of that, it's pretty flat. But doing a half marathon, and then that's what I'm looking forward to is getting, my people to at least look into taking on that race, because like I said, it's one of my favorite. And I think if a lot of people were introduced to that race, it could probably be their favorite as well.
Mm-hmm. And I imagine, with your ambassadorship, you tend to post more about the race, and as people are following you from your club and everything else like that, they're going to see more about it. But you also get to do some really cool things. I mean, you guys are gonna have some fun this year.
Yeah, not for sure. And then they do a really good job of taking care of us as well and putting us in situations where we can get out in front of people and, not just showcase ourselves, but if you are part of a run club, they support the run clubs as well. They supported ZFT a lot last year because this is my second year doing it. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, the support that they provided us last year, that really helped out. It really made the marathon and the half marathon more visible to our runners, them seeing a face, seeing them show up to our runs and support us in different ways. That really made people feel like, okay, they rock with us, they support us, so we're going to look into doing the race. So, it's a good time. It's a good time. You get to meet some really cool people who are very influential in the community. So that's, another thing looking forward to is just getting acquainted with people who are, like I said, very influential in the running world here in Houston.
Yeah, I keep going back to swag. So, I've been involved with Bay Area Running Club for 14 years, where we have blue and it says bark. And I think people, when they put it on, they feel like part of a community. Are you in, I used to be part of the board and all that stuff, but are you thinking, and I want to throw this out there, like, you have your logo and certain swags, or do you plan on like ever changing it up, like doing like one for this year or one for this season, or, kind of like a specialty swag, or, for the races or anything like that?
Well, we sort of do those things for our anniversary. So we have a big anniversary. Yeah, we have our anniversary. We try to make that a big celebration. So we're actually going to be celebrating our anniversary here soon, June 15th. So, everybody listen, make sure y'all come on out. We'll be celebrating that June 15th at Sports Creek from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. So with that, I want to say last year, if my numbers are correct, we had over 450 people that came out for that to help us celebrate that. So we try to do, different swag and, headbands and stuff like that, and have, different vendors and stuff come out. So that's when we kind of, switch it up and, try to make things special for our anniversary. And we do that for our Houston chapter and our Dallas chapter as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I try to put it out there so other clubs will do the same thing. Like, make it fun, variety. Yeah. People tired of the same old, make it fun. Yeah. Okay. So you have a Dallas chapter as well. How'd that start?
It pretty much one of the members that were a part of the Houston chapter in the beginning. During COVID, they were reassigned, or they got a new job in Dallas. So pretty much same story that I had, was a part of the run club that they really enjoyed, moved to a new city, was looking for that same kind of run club and really couldn't find it, at least in their area. So he contacted me probably a few months after he had moved up there and searching for a new run club. He, pretty much asked, hey, do you want to, or have you ever thought about, starting a new chapter in another city? And if you have, or if you're open to it, I would definitely love to work with you to get that going up here in Dallas. So, we, took that same blueprint, that same model that we had established here in Houston, and took it up to Dallas, and it pretty much caught fire as well.
Wow. So that's great when things happen organically like that.
Yeah.
That's got to make you feel good, man.
Yep. And just to know that, because, you could always blame it on, well, it's the city that you're in, or it's the people, or these certain type of things. So it was good to see that, this model that we had, or this blueprint that we had, was more universal than we, could have imagined. Because like I said, we took it to a new city. And for me, I think Houston and Dallas are two totally different cities. I don't really think that they're similar cities. I think just the cities are different in the way they feel, the things that you have to do there. You got that little rivalry between the cities. But to know that we could bridge those two cities with a run club that we, created, and that we, created this blueprint for, and it worked in both cities, that was very reassuring.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. So what's obviously you got Chevron Houston. So what else is next for you as far as your run journey or through the club?
So my run journey personally consists of just being consistent. Right now, I am in my just participate, just be consistent. I don't have any PRs. I don't have any, major races that I'm trying to run. It's just making sure that I stay consistent, that I'm, being a good example for the run club, for my runners. With that, I challenge myself. I have to run at least one half marathon and one marathon a year. And whatever, marathon that is, I'm not really picky on that. Like, I'm not one of those people that, I have to run, the world majors, or I need, it's just whatever run, marathon that my run club chooses, that we want to participate in. If it's a world major, let's do it. If it's, we just ran Memphis last December. If it's in Memphis, we can do that as well. So it's just, like I said, more so just staying consistent. I don't have to be fast. I don't have to, achieve these great things. I just want to let people know that being consistent, you get results from just being consistent. And runners, they come in all shapes and sizes, and how fast you run doesn't determine, if you're a runner or not. So I want people to understand that just participating is good enough, and just give it all you got. Be consistent with it, and that's the example I'm trying to set. So that's my personal running journey. Is just, like I said, mainly just consistency. And then if I'm speaking as far as the run club, immediate is, like I said, celebrating these 7 years that we've been in Houston, and, doing our thing, and, diversifying that running scene. And then just to continue growing and offering a good service to our runners. So I don't want to just grow and we kind of lose that family feeling and, that community. I want to grow and still be able to offer a service that feels like if it's just 5 of us. So, just finding different ways to keep our runners engaged and keep them feeling like this is one of the best decisions that I've made. When moving to Houston or finding this run club is one of the best decisions I made, because of how they, support me, how they fuel me, how they guide me. So it's just offering a great product for our runners as we grow.
Wow. No, that's awesome. That's great that your focus seems to be community and others. And if it happens to be a world major, cool. If it happens to be in a fun place, cool. But what's the point unless you got some fun people around you to
Unless
run?
you got people doing it. Unless you got people doing it. And honestly, I don't even know if I could train for a marathon by myself. I don't
No.
I don't know if I got it in me. And I tell, I tell some of my runners this, and, if my runners see this, that haven't heard me say this, if it wasn't for them, I don't know if I would run marathons, because, being able to wake up to them on those early 5 a.m. runs and 5:30 a.m. runs, I honestly don't know if I would be able to do it by myself. So knowing that I have them there, knowing that they're in this fight with me, and that we're going to take on this race and cross that finish line together, that's honestly what keeps me going. So, yeah. So like I said, if, if I can do that with them in a world major, that'll be fine, but I'm not going to do it by myself. So if we got to run, every other race except those world majors, and, keep our people in these, in these races, and keep them in these streets, then that's what we're going to do. So, yeah. I depend on them just as much as they depend on me.
Yeah, it's so true in so many factors. Yeah, it's so much better to run a fun half and have hundreds of people around you versus have a PR at a world major and nobody's there.
And nobody's there. Nobody's there. And then you bragging about it, and they like, okay, because I tell people to suit. I was like, majority of the people that don't know what your PR means. So you going around trying to brag to people, and I still have people asking me, when I tell them I ran a race, they're still asking me, did I win? And I'm like, yeah, so y'all don't know what this PR means. So I really just did all this dying on the course just to have this personal goal that few people understands what it means, right? So I would rather, spend this time and spend that, that training and those races with people who are, willing to be there with me. So that's the mindset.
Well, I know I showed up late, but time really did fly. I can't believe we've been on for this long. This has been fun. But I do want to ask like one more thing. Like, if you could say something to inspire people, whether they're a walker and that's in terms, or a runner, or whether they live close into the loop or out of the loop, or people are listening in different parts of the country, some other countries as well, but mostly in the country. If you tell them anything, what would inspire them to just go outside today?
Just understand that it's hard for everybody, right? And I think that's the misconception that a lot of people have, is that it's easy for fit people, right? Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, this is a choice that we all have to make. And the only difference between a fit person and a person that's aspiring to be fit is the fit person has already made the choice to do it. So there's no difference. The fit people aren't better. They aren't, special. They don't have any special genes or, some people do. But at the end of the day, the only difference between a fit person and a person wanting to get fit is the choice to do it. And fit people get tired. Fit people have life, changes and priorities and stuff that could interfere with that, but they always just find the time to get it in. So don't think that you can't do it. Don't think that, people that are fit have, extra time or they don't have life problems that they deal with. Everybody's dealing with the same thing out here. Like I said, the only difference between a fit person and a person aspiring to be fit is making that choice to do it no matter what. And if you can always make that choice to get out there and do something, you don't have to be able to lift 500 pounds. You don't have to be able to run a 2-hour half marathon. It's just getting out there and just doing something. And if you make that choice to do something consistently, you'll get better. And that choice becomes easier to make day by day. But what I would tell people is just, it's a choice. Nobody's better than anybody. I'm not better than anybody. It's just people make different choices. And I think this goes with life as well, not just with fitness. It's just, the choices you make determine the outcome. So if we make the right choices more consistently, we get better results. So that would be, what I would tell somebody that's kind of, wanting to get there and they need that motivation, is just make that choice. But it's going to be hard. Nobody said it was going to be easy. But if you make that choice more consistently, it gets easier to make that choice every day. Join a club and community. And community is big. It's so big. Trying to do this by yourself is hard. I would tell people it is hard. And it takes a lot of practice and it takes a lot of experience to be able to do that stuff by yourself consistently. So if you're not there yet, find you a community. Do this with people who can keep you engaged and people who can hold you accountable, because that's going to make a world of difference in the way you approach it and also your perspective on what you're doing. Because if you have other people waiting on you, you're more likely to get up and do whatever you're trying to avoid.
But that accountability, man.
Yeah. If you don't have it, it's so easy. It is so easy to come home, sit on that couch, grab some food and watch TV, especially if you don't have anybody that's like, hey, where you at? We're waiting on you. So it's easy to push it off to the next day. I'll do it tomorrow. Then tomorrow come, I'll do it the next day. Then, a week goes by, then a month goes by. It's so easy to get into that rut. So, like I said, getting a part of a community, becoming a part of a community, and then just making that choice to be consistent with it. Those would be the two things that I'll tell somebody to do.
Wow. That's awesome. And also, put links to your personal and ZFT, but what days and where do you guys meet up on a regular basis?
So Saturday mornings at 8 a.m., that is our main run. We call that our Hallmark Saturday run. So we'll pretty much be there every single Saturday. This is in Edo, so we meet at Leland House. So it's a really nice brunch spot that we meet at in Edo. So we meet there every Saturday, 8 a.m. The only reason we won't meet is if one, it is a hurricane, and we've been getting some crazy weather here lately.
Random.
Yeah, random, just out of nowhere. So if we don't have any crazy weather, or if we don't have a race, you can catch us there every Saturday at 8 a.m. And then we also have a Wednesday run, and we kind of alternate between Herman Park, and we alternate between Herman Park and Heights High School. So we do track workouts as well. So,
nice.
That would be something, once you got added to our group chat, we keep that information in there for our members, but we also post it on our social media pages as well. So that way, people can know where we are on those Wednesdays. But Saturday runs are very consistent, Leland House, 8 a.m. And then, like I said, we'll alternate between Herman Park and Heights High School on Wednesdays.
Sounds good, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. But Yancey, before I let you go, I have my 3 bonus questions called the lightning round. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Is there like one favorite piece or must-have race gear? It could be like, sunglasses, hat, shoes that you have to have like on race day.
Race day, headband. I would say headband, kind of keep that sweat off my face, and I think I look cool in the headband. So if I don't have my headband, that would probably be the one thing where I feel just kind of like I'm missing something. Headband, and if I had to choose another thing, it would be my running pouch. I used to hate these things. I used to hate those fanny packs or waist packs. But as you start getting to those bigger races, you start realizing how useful they are. So I think if I didn't have 1 or 2 of those things, I would feel off.
Oh, that's cool. Here's one. If you could run, walk, have a conversation with anybody alive or past, who would it be?
Jerry Rice. So growing up, I played football, and I'm a San Francisco 49ers fan. And I grew up in the 90s when the 49ers were actually a really, really good team. And Jerry Rice was a star on that team. And I played receiver as well. So, Jerry Rice was somebody that I, admired. And if I ever had the chance to meet him and, just talk to him and, hear his stories and all that type of stuff, that would definitely be a bucket list item.
Classy guy too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's cool.
From what I know, man, he's still the best. After all these years that he's been retired, he still holds records and still considered the best receiver to ever play the game. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to pass him.
Nah, I don't see it. I don't see it happening. So, but yeah, just to pick his brain and just to hear the stories and, all the things that he's gone through as a professional, as a father, as a, just everything. I would love just to have that conversation with him. So Jerry Rice for sure.
Cool. Awesome. And question number 3, I know, we're all about health, and obviously that's your day job as well, but hey, we got to live a little. So what is one culinary guilty pleasure?
Pizza.
All right.
Pizza is my favorite food. And I'm also I love like sweets, like pastries, like cakes and stuff like that. I don't keep them. I try not to keep them in my house because I could eat something sweet after every meal. I literally can have dessert after every meal. So, I'll say pastries like cakes, pies, cookies, and stuff like that, and pizza. Yeah.
Are you making your own pizza, or is there a place you like to go to? Shout out anywhere?
Shout out Star Pizza.
Oh,
that's that's my
the
spot.
OG here.
Yeah, when it comes to pizza, Star Pizza definitely holds that for me.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that is the original, I guess, craft type of pizza here in Houston.
Yep. So yep.
Awesome. Well, again, I'll put all the links to your Instagram. Congratulations again for the ambassadorship, and I look forward to catching you at an upcoming run.
Yes, sir. And thank you for allowing me this opportunity to be on your podcast.
Oh, yeah, man. You bet. As always, if you want to become the first to find out about upcoming weekly episodes, simply hit the plus, follow, subscribe button. Depends on your podcast platform. And if you're on a podcast app where you can leave a rating and review, we always love it. Hey, give us 5 stars if you like it. And if you don't like it, give us 5 stars anyways. You made it through the whole episode. But more importantly, looking forward to sharing another episode next week.
Thanks for visiting the Houston Running Zone. If you know someone you'd like to be featured in the zone, go to thehoustonrunningzone.com and send us a message. Until next week, always remember, Houston, we've got the runs.